Now, right off the bat, one's a skinny guy, one's a fat guy.
First thought of the fat guy. Hey, Kevin. Tony Michaels here.
You got a Tony Michaels vibe?
I got Tony Michaels vibe off that guy, yeah.
Well, you know it's one's the skinny guy, one's a fat guy because the skinny guy's got his shirt open, the fat guy's got a shirt on.
Yeah.
All right.
They will hunt, tracking game like a Cherokee Indian. No girls allowed.
So I'm also going to take a guess that they're like friends.
You'd hope so, would you?
Yeah. Like I'm going to think they're like buddies.
I remember doing, you and I have talked before, we talked a little bit of wrestling. You and I discovered each other originally through wrestling, I guess, tangentially. We did some wrestling videos at like 17, 18 that is now so embarrassing for me that I'm so glad we never put that on the internet. I'm getting those kind of vibes off of this. And these guys don't look 17, 18.
You didn't do it like in your late 20s, early 30s?
Definitely not.
Shot on your iPhone in the wrong perspective.
Now I'm sideways.
All right. By like your girlfriend or possibly up against a post.
A complete rebuke of the feminine man paradigm. With great beans comes great responsibility. Look out, world. Real men are back.
I think we get it, right?
It's all right. See, now I'm going to sound like the, anti-LBGTQ kind of person here, but this is overly flamboyantly gay bullshit to mock the overly flamboyantly gay bullshit, right? Like,
I don't know. I mean, I think it's just, yeah, I guess that's what it's trying to be. It's trying to be like anti one thing, but over the top to be funny, but it's like we're mocking it to be funny, but it's not funny. So it's supposed to be funny, right?
Like right now, like what's the parent company was Anheuser-Busch, whatever.
Anheuser-Busch.
Anheuser-Busch. Like right now, like that beer that's out right now, that's the anti-woke beer. Like if Anheuser-Busch was behind that beer, I'd be like, this is the greatest marketing campaign in the history of marketing to do the Dylan Mulvaney thing and then create a new beer. Like that would be fucking genius. But I don't believe that's what's happened. But that's what they should do. Like create a whole new brand. Like this stuff, I'm at the point, Chad, I'm sorry. I'm at the point where I'm gonna mute the words like transgender and shit like that off my Twitter feed because there's some sort of agenda going on, and I don't know what they're hiding, but there's some sort of agenda going on. But people like this that are clearly anti that agenda, you're not helping the situation.
No.
Like you're making it more forefront in everyone's minds. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's continue. There's a little. Yeah. I think it gets better.
Oh, good.
On December 7th, get ready for Irish spaghetti. Happy Hanukkah, motherfuckers.
Brilliant.
Starring Billy Gorman and Nikki
More like,
Pringles. I
more
guess
like
that's the
Billy
fat guy.
Borman. Am I right?
Camera work by Dalia Ontiveros. So that's probably one of the girlfriends. I'm sure the skinny guy.
Dahlia? Nah, she's with the fat guy. Dahlia, come on.
Goodbye.
Onto Veros? Come on. She ain't getting no good looking dudes.
Eat shit and die.
Yes. Oh wait, I'm screaming.
I'm gonna rip your head off and shit down.
Okay. So they're trying to do the movie guy thing, the trail, what's it called? The YouTube channel that does like the fake trailers, and then they read them at the end, and he reads like absurd quotes. So that's probably what this idiot's trying to do.
Yeah, but he's ripped a quote from like, what are we talking? I think I was still in high school. I'm talking late 90s. Rip off your head and shit down your neck. That's late 90s shit.
Well, so here's what these guys did. And this is how this came on my radar. Okay. So now at the moment, this is still a new channel, perfectly rated. Okay. So rise in the ranks. But when I found them, they had like 54 subscribers. Okay.
Oh, hang on a minute.
They had a video called Anthony Cumia versus Bill Burr.
Yep.
All right. When I saw it, that's why it was in my YouTube algorithm. It had like 650 views. It now has 3.7 thousand.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a look at some of their other views. Okay. 6, 2.
Wow.
Okay. 15, 3, 2, 7, 34. Do you see what I'm talking about here?
Yeah.
All right. So now they put up Anthony Cumia versus Bill Burr. It gets 3.7 thousand. What do? They go right back to the fucking well.
Yeah.
Burr versus Cumia part deux, because that's funny, because deux means two, hot shots part deux,
brilliant.
right?
Yeah.
384 views. Didn't quite work out for you, right? But what I was shocked about was, as I went back and checked this out when I pulled it for this, people were like complimenting them on the video. Wow, this was really good. I'm sitting there being like, what in the fuck has happened to the viewer over the last few years that they have dropped the standard for what we used to listen to, which you discovered in 2014 with Opie and Anthony, that these generic fucks have just, started with this show. All right. So I'm going to have to pull it back a minute because I was listening to it. All right. You ready for this?
What's next?
What did we? Oh, what did we had one other one that we definitely wanted to talk about. Oh, Anthony Cumia.
Okay.
First impressions.
Jesus fucking Christ. First of all, there's a couple of things I hate, but I certainly hate when you hit play and it's just like there's no introduction whatsoever. Like, give me something. But like, to act like you didn't know what you wanted to talk about, like that's so fake. Like, you had this prepared. This is the whole thing. So yeah, they're my first couple of thoughts.
Okay, first impressions of this guy I thought was they're holding the microphones.
Oh.
I hate that. That to me is the biggest pet peeve in podcasting. Go back to the Get My Go days, Brother Martin holding the microphone, right? Second of all, again, I think they're supposed to be like buddies. We're just hanging out. We're on the sofa. We're just chilling. This is just us, being dudes, whatever. But what are we looking at? What is this? Is this a studio? Is this a backdrop? Are we in the living room? There's a cord hanging down from a video. And Aussie guy, what is my biggest pet peeve in anything as it relates to your graphics?
Headroom?
No. Look at their graphic on the television.
Oh no, not centered and not fucking.
Well, it's face. No, they're face swap on the Big Lebowski. Come on.
Dude, when you tell me your biggest pet peeve, I didn't have face swap as your biggest pet peeve. I got to be honest.
Is up there too, though. So all right, I have a couple, but it's just this generic shit. It's this terrible presentation. It's these two fucking losers sitting here with these goddamn microphones in their hands and talking. So now these two talking about Anthony Cumia versus Bill Burr. But it's not just them talking about Anthony Cumia versus Bill Burr. All they're doing is recapping Anthony talking about Anthony versus Bill Burr.
I don't know if there's much. Like, what's the point? Like, why? My whole thing, whether you like my shit, what I do or not, whether you like what Chad does or not, like, it's irrelevant. The whole question is, why would you tune in? What is there to hear from this? And when you just put a title, Anthony Cumia versus Bill Burr, people are going to tune in. But you're done. You're done if you're not presenting anything that people can't see from the clip that is viral all over YouTube already of Anthony Cumia explaining what happened with Bill Burr and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, by all means, clickbait. Husey understands clickbait. He knows how to get benefits of clickbait. This is the worst example of clickbait.
This is like the Mark Wrestling podcast, okay, that are sitting there, the armchair quarterbacks that are talking about rumors of backstage stuff that are not in the business. They're outside the business, but they're talking about rumors that they have literally no idea what the hell's going on, right? So instead of Opie commenting or Sam Roberts commenting or even WATP commenting on Opie commenting, you got a fat guy holding a microphone and his obviously, skinny and too cool for the room with his open shirt there, collared guy, partner here comment. So I'm going to let it play a little bit. Let's take it in. Tell me if you want me to stop.
Okay, this is more nuance and niche for us, but people that.
But we're gonna put it. Let's put it in the title so that people that do care can.
I'm just gonna stop it there, just to you see. You know what I'm talking about.
Just let's put in the title there. Like, we're just gonna bullshit for like 15 minutes, but if we put something in the title, like, people will click on it.
Just click right there, right there.
Kourtney Kardashian sounds way manlier than this fat fuck.
A woman who takes a human growth hormone, okay, for a day is going to sound more manlier.
Yeah. We always talk about that old radio show, Opie and Anthony, and how much we love Anthony Cumia, and that was a lot of our inspiration for the style of show that we do. And those are our guys. Like, I love those are my legends. Like, if I saw Al Pacino, I'd be like, that's cool. But if I saw Anthony Cumia, I'd be like, that's the fucking guy. So that's where I'm like, oh my God.
Fuck off.
And although he gets a lot of shit,
if I saw Al Pacino, that's cool. But if I saw Anthony Cumia, Al Pacino is one of the biggest icons in fucking cinema history.
Ever.
Anthony Cumia got fired for being an incredible racist. What are you talking about? Like, if you saw Al Pacino, I don't know, I'd probably lick his toes. What are you talking about?
You'd look down and be like, "It is very nice to meet you, sir. I'm honored to meet you."
The fuck are you talking about?
Because don't forget
Opie too, man.
when you were listening to that radio back then, and you didn't know that he was pissing those two off, you were like, "Yeah, Opie." You even fucking care back then.
I still love Opie, man.
Jim Norton, little Jimmy Norton, one of the greatest ever, man. It was just such an amazing time, and they brought so many talents out. I'm going to give you some of those names: Patrice O'Neal, Bill Burr, Amy Schumer,
Colin Quinn.
Now, Amy Schumer.
He gave three names, and literally the three biggest names, maybe outside of Louis, that came out of that show.
And he managed to name 3 comedians, but only 2 of them wrote jokes.
Yeah, I wouldn't even consider Amy Schumer coming from Opie and Anthony. She was on it.
No.
I mean, Tracy Morgan used to be on the Opie and Anthony show. There was a ton of comedians on the show, but I wouldn't consider Amy Schumer as part of the Opie and Anthony legacy. She was on it, and she had relationships with Jimmy and Burr and all those guys, but I wouldn't say she's a part of the pantheon of O&A legacy.
Definitely not. I fucked up my joke. The thing I was supposed to say, he named 3 comedians. one of those comedians wrote jokes for both of them, for two of them.
Meaning Patrice?
I think she stole. Did she steal jokes from Patrice? I thought she
Hell
stole jokes
yes.
from Patrice. Yeah.
Yes. There's compilations of it.
Yeah. I wasn't sure. No, because I think she's stolen jokes from multiple people, but I wasn't 100% sure if she stole jokes from Patrice. But yeah.
I'm just noticing in the upper right corner that these guys have a print of their
Oh, they do.
podcast. For a
Yeah.
podcast that has videos that have 2 views, they have a print of themselves on their wall.
It's crazy.
It's fucking pathetic.
At least I've got 100 views.
You've got 100 views. Your background moves when you move. Same thing with mine. Okay.
Yeah.
When she was good and stuff like that. Now I know a lot of those guys. I know a lot of these guys changed and stuff like that. You know, obviously, but they all owe Opie and Anthony a big debt of gratitude for helping them along the way. Because I promised you, a lot of them wouldn't even be known today.
A little thank you.
Little thank you.
Thank you, fellatio.
Yeah. So Anthony Cumia gets on his. Yeah, they should really
sucking
should.
him off, dude. He made their careers.
Yeah, and him
he
too.
Gave,
by the way,
he gave underground comics a platform and put them in the public eye because he believed in their talents and wanted to expose them to the world. And guess what he gets in fucking return? You want to tell the story?
Did these guys just find out what Opie and Anthony were? Bill Burr and Amy Schumer? I mean, Opie and Anthony is my favorite show of all time. I'm baffled by that statement. That is the dumbest statement I've ever heard in my entire life.
This is so clueless, this explanation. And like I've got an understanding of Bill Burr's history with O&A and you know O&A's history with all these different comedians, and it was definitely a help. But for it bugs me when I listen to ill-informed people try and talk about things. Like I gave my opinion about Anthony Cumia and Bill Burr earlier, but like when people try and clickbait something and literally have no idea what they're talking about, it does tend to bug me. It really does.
This is so stupid. I mean, these guys are bad. All right, continue. It gets worse. Trust me.
Iron sharpens iron. These fuckers all knew that they could go on there and he'd be funny enough where they could show out too. But so
his generosity.
Yeah, really. So Anthony gets on his show the other day and he surprises us with a story like that, which is unreal. Their security that worked up there, another guy who wouldn't know any of these people if it wasn't for him. Club Soda Kenny was their security. Just pick him up, bring him. He was like he was an ex-cop or an ex like FBI, something like that. I mean, he was law enforcement or something like that. Anyways, big guy, strong guy, knows how to kick ass, and he does security for a lot of these guys now.
But he worked with Opie and Anthony for years and years. You would hear him talking to him in the studio. He would be on the show. Like
he was even helping out.
He was like family to these guys. First, yeah, man.
He was like running Compound Media at first.
Yeah.
So
Club Soda Kenny didn't fucking run Compound Media. What the fuck are you talking about? That would be Keith the Cop, you big fat tittied retard.
I'd like to present these two gentlemen with the fact that Club Soda Kenny was introduced to Opie and Anthony through Andrew Dice Clay, who I don't know if these guys have ever heard of him, but pretty well-known stand-up comedian and actor. Yeah, pretty actually accomplished actor now these days, and social media star, TikTok, Instagram, pretty big name again these days, the Dice Man. Club Soda Kenny was his heavy for a long time. Introduced to Opie and Anthony through Dice. If you go back and listen to Dice's early appearances on Opie and Anthony, Club Soda Kenny is with Dice on air through the Dice Man. But they don't know that. They've never heard of him before. He was Keith the Cop in their eyes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Drop a knowledge, Chad, though. Great job.
So all the contacts and connects that he has is because of these guys, right? So keep that in mind. So
they paid him truckloads of money over the years.
Ridiculous. He is such a well-off guy because of that. So Anthony gets on the other night and he's telling a story that he goes to the Laugh Factory in New York, which is like such like a cool place
fucking Jesus Christ.
The Laugh Factory in New York. The Laugh Factory's in fucking California, you fucking fat fuck. God damn it.
How am I in Perth Western Australia. And when he says the Laugh Factory, I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, how... Continue.
media and stuff like that because that's where a lot of them get their start. Little
Was
like
it the
hole in
Laugh
wall.
Factory or was it the Cellar?
Was it the Comedy Cellar?
Either way.
Okay, I didn't know if he was.
Yeah,
the Laugh
either
Factory.
Was he
way,
on the
the
other side of the
irrelevant part of the
country?
story.
Yeah.
You stupid idiot. Tell your fat, stupid friend the right thing, you dumbass. He's right there. You don't want to contradict your friend? Tell him.
So he's like, this is a shame to that table because that was a table that Patrice and all those guys, Keith Robs, all of them sat around and shit on each other and bash each other. Like, now these people are fucking sitting
No
here.
shit.
Yeah. I think
So
it was
just
the
a big
Cellar.
slap in the face. Okay.
I know a lot of you are not understanding what we're talking about. We're kind of in our own little nerd
for
culture.
the one
That's
that
correct.
they do.
Yeah, a lot of you. Let's keep in mind, we just saw videos that have this many views on them. How many fingers am I holding up, Dean?
2.
2. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was holding up that many. There's because there's one.
Well, I thought
Yeah.
I thought you might have had fingers crossed that this would get better. I love how it was like, was it the Laugh Factory or was it the Comedy Cellar? Oh, was it the Comedy Cellar? Was it on the other side of the country? Was that where it happened? Fuck.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
Get it, you know?
If you skip ahead, if you don't know anything that we're talking, I'll put in the chapters. So if you want to skip this portion, feel free.
He
but we're gonna
didn't.
talk about it for a
Or
minute.
There's
go
no
look
chapters.
these guys up and realize what we're talking about, like why it was so special,
It's
who
amazing.
they are. So he sees so they've had issues over the years because I guess Bill Burr's wife, everybody knows Bill Burr's wife's kind of like chopped his balls off and like kind of made him like kind of
Castrated.
scary about
Mm-hmm.
the jokes that he says. Bill Burr's married to a black woman.
Bill Burr's wife is a multi-millionaire because Bill Burr is a multi-millionaire. I don't in this feud, I'm not a Bill Burr fan anymore. I've seen Bill Burr live. I've seen him in the Opie and Anthony Traveling Virus. I don't like Bill Burr's comedy anymore. I didn't really love it then either. But I don't hate Bill Burr for the fact he defended his wife. Okay? I don't also hate Anthony for what he said about Bill Burr's wife because I don't give a fuck.
That's where it is. That's where it lies. Bill Burr has done some hilarious comedy. Hilarious. And I rate Bill Burr up there as a great comedian. But I 100% agree with you. I don't have any problem with Bill Burr saying, fuck you, Anthony Cumia. That's my wife. That's the race of people that my wife comes from. And I don't begrudge Anthony Cumia talking shit about Bill Burr's wife. Like, that's, how you Americans, like, you're so uptight about that Second Amendment, like that's a big deal for you guys. There's one before it. It's the First Amendment. And that's the one I feel like is pretty important.
I'm sorry, I can't count, so I appreciate you giving me the context.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. That's the one I care about. So Anthony can say whatever he likes. And Bill Burr, this is the thing about the First Amendment, Chad. I'll fill you in on something.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So with the First Amendment, Anthony Cumia can say what he likes, but also Bill Burr can not like that and say what he likes as well. That's what the First Amendment means. So yeah. I'm all for
also,
both
it's millionaire versus millionaire. So again,
exactly.
Who gives a shit?
Exactly.
What this guy thinks here on the left, what this guy thinks on the right, what this guy from Perth, Australia thinks, what this fucking idiot with the sunglasses on his head thinks,
And a
what
backwards
anybody
hat.
thinks. Yeah, with the backwards hat, branding, and what it's all about. That's how people remember you. But who cares? Who gives a shit? All these videos, who cares? That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Moving on.
It's because Stone Cold says so.
It's always wrestling. Always comes back there.
Fine, who gives a shit? But when you start fucking with his head and his career, that's when things get weird. So he's kind of PC now. Amy Schumer's obviously completely gone off the deep end. Ugh. She's fucking nuts, So Anthony said that they had the Patrice benefit, and then he went to the cellar that night, and he had seen Club Soda Kenny walked in. Now, keep in mind, he gave this guy a career, and he starts yelling, Kenny, and he's like trying to get his attention.
In his mind.
They're friends.
You know how I knew all that?
How did you know all that, Chad?
I watched Anthony's video where he said every bit of what this fucking idiot is saying.
Do you know what's funny? I saw the same video. And do you know what's the weirdest part about it? Is Anthony didn't like cheerlead as much as these two retards are cheerleading for Anthony. You know what I mean? Like, I think Anthony even acknowledged that, hey, maybe Bill wouldn't want to talk to me. You know, like I think, you know, these two are just like remember he gave Club Soda Kenny a career? Remember he let him run Campaign Mania? Oh wait, he didn't. No, that was Keith the Cop. I don't know, I'm confused. Was it the Laugh Factory or were we in the cellar? I forget. Jesus.
And Kenny like looks at him with nothing but disdain
and ghosts him.
And then behind him, Bill Burr walks in. Now Bill Burr, he knows there was a problem.
This is not part of the story at all.
Comedy friends were telling him.
Thought Burr was sitting at the table.
Bill Burr didn't walk in. Anthony Cumia told this story. Never said Bill Burr walked in. Never said he saw Bill Burr walk in.
So you need to watch the shit. They were friends before. They were so funny on the radio together for so many years. So Anthony's like wasted. He's like, fuck it. Let me go say what's up. See if I can't like say hello to these guys, and squash the shit with Bill Burr. I think that's how he used it. Like squash shit with Bill Burr. So he gets over there and he walks over and he goes, Bill. And Bill Burr gives him that dude. That typical Bill Burr dude. And he said that the tone he used, he could tell that it was a mistake almost instantly.
I should have never fucking done this.
Dude, and I know that feeling. Yeah. You know that feeling. And he goes, you think why are you talking to me when you say that shit about my wife? Like it's real, like mean and shit. So
I wish I had a recreation like graphic I could run here on the bottom, like flashing. Like this is almost like I feel like we're back in the Comedy Cellar that night, Dean. This is like edge of your seat recreation.
He did a Bob Kelly dude, if we're being honest. Did.
I wish I had that drop of the what do you call it? He does these impersonations.
Yeah. he does these impersonations. You think it was a real person.
Oh man. I have all these new sound effects. I didn't add that one in. I have some good ones if you want them, but I don't have any. Hey, this one's pretty accurate for it, Dean. That one's pretty accurate for it so far.
Can we? So I'm looking at the screen. 4 minutes and 45.
4 minutes in.
And how many incorrect things have been said? And also, like he understood the pitch and the tone of the did. Like he, just because he heard Anthony tell the story, like he was in the room. It's amazing.
Next time there's an incorrect thing, point it out. I forgot I have a sound effect for it.
Well, all right.
So Anthony goes, Anthony's okay with an argument.
Realizes that there's nothing to be done.
Exactly. He's okay
let's
with
pause
an argument.
there.
Through these. If that's how he feels, talk. Let's get it out.
Anthony's okay with an argument. What do we know about Anthony Cumia? Anthony loves an argument. The thing that makes Anthony most uncomfortable in the world is confrontation. Like, I think we all know that about Anthony. Oh, spaghetti on the wall. Vertigo.
He's a mouthpiece. He's always been. He's wonderful at that.
Yeah.
So he goes to retort to Bill Burr saying that shit. Club Soda Kenny walks up and starts chest bumping him, going, go, and kicks Anthony
physically
out of
removes
the club.
him.
Physically removes him from the club. This man
who made these people.
Yes, imagine paving the road for everybody and them running you over and hitting you with their cars. It would be sick.
One of the greatest radio hosts that's ever existed. The greatest radio show that did more for comedy and comics than any other show that has ever existed.
Yeah.
I have, as much as I love Opie and Anthony, how do you not say that that's Howard Stern?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I mean, come on. I mean, that's ridiculous. I love O&A. Love O&A. I still listen to them every friggin' chance I can. How do you not say that that's Howard?
No, I completely agree. And like, I'm one of these people. Again, I discovered O&A before Howard, and I sort of drank the Kool-Aid like these guys have clearly drunk for a while, where they were like, Howard's the shits. And I'm like, yeah, Howard's the shits. because I'd never heard Howard, But now that I've heard Howard and I've gone back and I know all these comedians that appeared on Howard Stern and all that. No, come on, please.
Yeah. I mean, up to a certain point, Howard,
Yeah,
maybe up
of
to
course.
2006, Howard. And then, the modern day comics is O&A. But I mean, Sam Kinison wasn't going on Opie and Anthony. Carlin in the before the 2000s wasn't going on Opie and Anthony. Rodney Dangerfield wasn't going on Opie and Anthony until the 90s.
Chappelle,
So, yeah,
fucking-
Chappelle, absolutely.
No.
It's, oh, God. All right, continue.
All these people made their bones on his show. He was the man that they had to come and see. And that guy was a kingmaker. And he opened these doors and helped these people and made them who they are. And now he's getting his face spat upon.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. No respect.
None.
No respect for this great fucking man.
The famous Philadelphia rant that Bill Burr did, that was an O&A show.
Tour.
Yeah, that was an O&A show.
Yeah. Literally that rant made him famous.
Made him.
O&A put on that fucking show. They did it every year for a handful of years, whatever. But
he would have been headlining a fucking barbecue in Temecula that night if he wasn't there.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
man. It's fucking crazy.
I
used to love Bill Burr, but I'm done with that shit.
Dude,
man.
Bill Burr sucks. So his last 4 specials were absolute shit. And you know what, man? I promise you. Oh my God, I promise you. If he was still good and he did this to Anthony, I would say he's still good. He's not. You tell me Killer Friends was a good special.
Ugh.
Him and everybody fucking suck.
They bombed.
I'm not cussing too much on this one, am I? I'll hold it back. But he was so
We're upset
bad.
today.
Yeah, he was so bad. And you know what kills?
He was so bad, huh? It was him. He was so bad.
Do you know what I've learned recently, Chad, and particularly through Who Are These Podcasts and all that? And look, there's people that have appeared on Who Are These Podcasts and maybe created shows off of Who Are These Podcasts that I've got criticisms of. But when you go to like Reddits and subreddits or Twitter and all that, you find people have these weird connections, weird obsessions with people. And you're like, yeah, I don't think this guy's funny and I think his podcast is bad. But then you see these people and they're like, he's a bad father, he's a bad husband, he's this and he's that. I was like, whoa, what's that got to do with anything? Like, the guy puts out shitty stuff on the internet. That's what I might want to make fun of. This is what I'm seeing from these guys. Like, they're, I guess, O&A sycophants. I don't know, Anthony Cumia sycophants. But what this is people with a weird relationship with an internet personality. And they're not thinking rationally. They're just deciding things because their favorite celebrity is thinking in one way.
Well, I looked at that second video. We won't have enough time to go over it, but they didn't even know like what the Dabbleverse was. They only knew what Opie and Anthony was. So the next video, they just found out about Stuttering John and all that other good stuff, WATP and all that. So they didn't even know. So I think that they basically are doing this because they thought maybe they'd get a little attention from Anthony by dropping his name and saying he's the greatest and all this shit, ripping Burr. 3.7 thousand people just found it because maybe they thought, I don't know, there might be some information. Maybe somebody was in the cellar or the other club. This is exactly right. This is just like delusional fan spouting wrong information and like over the top rhetoric. I mean, this is just ridiculous.
No, agreed. It's no, you're 100% correct with everything you just said. They're hoping to get a rise out of Anthony, I guess, get him to go, yeah, these guys, but as if Anthony's fucking paying any attention. And yeah, they got their bump.
Delusional people think that.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, obviously, how many shows have I done with entertainers over the years? When I deal with
Millions.
their fans, millions.
Yeah.
Dude, the fans think that they have that one track to the person. They think that their comments are being seen. They think that the person who's doing the show is posting the show and seeing everything that's put out. They think that they see every comment. They think they see every email. So, these guys probably think that just because they put Anthony in the title, Anthony's going to see it and he's going to click it and go, I need these guys. Get them on Compound right now. They got 3.7 thousand views. It's irrelevant that their other video before it had 2 views. Doesn't matter. Get them on Compound. Tell Club Soda Kenny to get them on Compound Media tomorrow. All right, Aussie guy. I can only take a few more minutes of frosted tips and Fruit Loops here. So let's and I don't know which one is which. So let's
I was gonna say something.
let's get into the some form of a finish here, because I'm not going through the rest of this video.
Dude, most about anything, dude, it's just like he'll like how he sets up a joke these days. He says a bunch of safe shit and then says one that might be kind of off color and then goes back to safe. It's sick.
It's always he's playing an angle and he's trying to play it safe and he's careful about what direction he goes in. He used to be, I loved him because he used to speak from the heart and he was a strong personality and he stood up for his beliefs, even if they weren't popular. People didn't like see eye to eye with him.
Yeah.
But he was.
He said he loved it. Isn't it the other guys?
Now you can hear the inauthenticity. You can hear how he's taking a different stance and changing his mentality and changing the way he actually thinks and believes in what he says. And he picks his battles and he's very careful about what he says and doesn't say. And he's angling all the time. And that's when I'm like, dude, fuck you, man. Like, you lost yourself. Every single thing that he used to like rail against, especially when it comes to like being married and like how like a wife like takes your balls away.
All right, moving forward, we don't care what you think about Bill Burr.
You're
going to tell me about comedy.
Yeah, that's my biggest problem. People want to talk about comedy. People like throw the word hack around, like they know what it means. Like, hack comedy is not comedy that you don't find funny. Like, it's comedy that's existed forever that is so lame that why are you going back to it? People just go, this guy's a hack because I don't find him funny. Like, there's different levels of comedy across the world. And like, because you've got a different political opinion, you decided someone's not funny. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I'm sure like Bill Burr's got about 150 million reasons why he's not a hack. Dollars.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Again, like, who cares? Again, it's the same thing if it's wrestlers, if it's baseball players. Yes, they have feelings. They get irked by people's comments. I see it all the time. But at the end of the day, they don't give a flying fuck what any of us think. They don't care. Now, somebody like a Stuttering John, yeah, he's going to give a shit what people think because he's getting berated to death, right? He's and pushed out of stuff that he's doing. He's going to care. But a guy like Bill Burr, do you honestly think he cares that this fucking dumbass is giving him the business for being a hack? I mean, let's be serious.
No, agreed. But also, to say Bill Burr is like keeping on the line inside edgy, like he talked about fucking wiping out cruise ships, and he did a whole like kind of Nazi routine during the whole thing. Like, you can't suggest that Bill Burr is not willing to go to the dark side of his comedy. Like, come on now.
He just evolved. Everybody evolves.
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy was as raw, literally the name of an album, as it was going to get. Do you still expect Eddie Murphy to do Mr. T getting fucked up the ass, or Jackie, what's his name? Jackie Gleason fucking Ed Norton up the ass? Do you think he's still going to do that now at 65 years old? Like, it's not going to happen. You evolve your routines. You evolve your comedy. It's the same reason why a pro wrestler has to change his style as he gets into his 40s and 50s. Except for Ric Flair.
Agreed. Yeah, and he's the shits.
He could just black out in the middle of a match and almost die in the ring.
Yeah, and people will still fillet him.
And
because in 1989, fucking Ricky the Dragon Steamboat made him look like a genius. Fuck Ric Flair. He can suck a dick.
And he'll probably be coming to Perth, Australia soon for his retirement match.
Yeah, probably. And I'll force him into retirement, cunt.
Like, how do you even look yourself in the mirror after that?
Shame on you, Club Soda Kenny.
You
let's rewind a little bit.
Atlanta now, because they got jobs out there. They're total like leftists, right? And they're like, "Oh, we got tickets to Bill Burr," and he's like, and he knew, he's like, dude, he's done. He's like, done.
He's done.
Yeah, like how is this happening?
Wait,
right now? You know what I mean?
Did that
And
become a
that was
phone
so
call
terrible.
somewhere in the middle of that?
Damn.
I guess he talked to somebody who saw Bill Burr.
Yeah, but it became a phone call midway through, and then the phone disappeared. Did you notice that? He pulled the phone up to his ear.
Speakerphone.
Yeah.
He got tired.
Interesting. Yeah.
And Schumer's disgusting anyway.
She's trash. She's always been garbage.
Dude, what do you think Club Soda Kenny, like, how do you even look yourself in the mirror after that?
Shame on you, Club Soda Kenny.
You bastard.
That bothered me even worse than Bill Burr, because we already saw Bill Burr like
Burr's
changing over the years, and like, I've already processed it. That one surprised me.
Dude, and he was so good. Remember that other crazy guy, Master Poe?
Yeah, dude, I love Master Poe. Hell yeah.
Dude, that show is so
That's the greatest characters, man.
The tits.
Big A, Twitchels,
yeah,
Master Poe, Club Soda Kenny. I mean, that go back, go on YouTube and just look up old O&A clips. I'm telling you, it is an endless gold mine of quality. Not only just comedy and entertainment, brilliant discussions, interesting points of view. I mean, just fast when you could actually talk about everything and express yourself, and you weren't going to get yelled at for doing so. So
these guys just discovered Opie and Anthony like a week ago.
Yeah, there's so much to unpack. Putting Club Soda Kenny, Master Poe, and Eric Nagel in the same sentence is pretty bonkers. I'll say
I can name people too: Lady Di, Sam Roberts, Troy Kwan.
But again, so much to unpack. Go back a little bit. Club Soda Kenny, what are you thinking? These multi-millionaires paying you to be security.
Hell yeah.
Dude,
like,
what
is the greatest?
And he's like, and he knew, he's like, dude, he's done. He's like, done.
He's done.
How is this happening right now? You know what I mean? And I thought that was
That's
so
hilarious,
telling,
actually.
man.
That's
Damn,
interesting.
that's such,
yeah.
And Schumer's disgusting anyway.
She's trash. She's always been garbage.
Dude, what do you think Club Soda Kenny, like, how do you even look yourself in the mirror after that?
Shame on you, Club Soda Kenny.
You bastard.
That bothered me even worse than Bill Burr, because we already saw Bill Burr like changing over the years. I've already
there. How do you look yourself in the mirror, Club Soda Kenny, when Amy Schumer and Bill Burr are paying you to do security? Now, Chad, I'll be very clear to you. Much like Adam Hughes, Amy Schumer is a disgusting, unfunny dog to me, but she is globally famous. You know who else is globally famous? Bill Burr.
Yeah.
Do you know who's not right now? And possibly ever?
Who?
Anthony Cumia.
Yeah, really?
Yeah. And if he were globally famous, do you know what he's globally famous for?
Would it be a rant that he went on?
Being incredibly racist would probably be what he's, look, Opie and Anthony show was the number 2 radio show in the US at the time. Like, I think we can all agree on that. But Bill Burr and Anthony Schumer, Amy Schumer.
I mean, at times she does look like an Anthony.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, absolutely. They are now global movie stars, stand-up comedians. Like, this is madness to think Club Soda Kenny would go, oh, come on, Bill. Like, what do you mean?
Bill,
like,
give Anthony a chance.
Yeah. It's not that bad. Like, come on. This is insanity to me.
Yeah, it's these two idiots are clueless. I'm done with them. I can't. First of all, I can't look at the one of the Amy Schumer lookalike on the left anymore. Anyway, so they're idiots. And look, I don't like Amy Schumer either. I did see her live about 2014 ish, so she wasn't complete into her blow up phase of weight and also fame. She was still kind of like in her rise. And the show, I don't even think the show was on Comedy Central yet. And the show was all right. She had Mark Normand open for her. It was still while he was just, in like the feature stage. So he was very funny. And, it wasn't a bad show. But like I said, I've seen Burr at the Opie and Anthony Traveling Virus and separately. And he has evolved. It's all about evolution. And that's what you do in every facet of life, whether it's as a Microsoft technician, a podcaster, a teacher, you evolve. And obviously these guys, they went from 2 views to 3.7 thousand. So congratulations. You made it onto my radar somehow. And even though this channel's growing, and my last video might have only had 30 views, maybe this one will have 31 because of the Aussie guy.
Well, you never know. I mean, who knows? Look, it's one of those things. Like they're ripping Bill Burr. Like Bill Burr had some pretty edgy shit, and I think he does still have some edgy shit. But like at the end of the day, you're going to change your outlook on life. But like, who's going to rip Jerry Seinfeld? You know what I mean? Like Jerry Seinfeld, arguably one of the greatest comedians of all time, and particularly because of the sitcom. But Jerry is a great stand-up comedian, and I remember hearing him talk about the last time he used like a swear word in his set. Like, are you gonna rip Jerry Seinfeld because he's a clean comic? He's not edgy. No, if it's funny, it's funny. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I get pissed off about with people. Like, people go, "Oh, this comedian's using material from 10 years ago." Okay, if that audience hasn't heard it, who gives a shit? The job is to make the audience laugh. I don't care if it's a 10-year-old joke, a 30-year-old joke, whatever. Like, comedy is about making people laugh. I don't care. Like,
Right.
just make
People
people
have the
laugh.
greatest hits. Seinfeld has greatest hits. You want to hear Seinfeld talk about the plain peanuts. You want to hear Seinfeld talk about the laundry and getting bloodstains out of the laundry. You want to hear that. You don't care to hear about Stuttering John doing the squeegee bit. So
Exactly.
there's people who have their bits that are worth doing multiple times, and there's others that if they never do it again, nobody will lose sleep at night.
But for me, just at the end of the day, it's always about, did the audience laugh? If the audience didn't laugh, you bombed. If the audience laughed, you didn't bomb. I don't care if it's hacked material. If the audience laughed, you had a good night. You know, like, people will watch somebody do a set and say they're bombing because they don't like the jokes, but the audience is laughing. You can't be bombing if the audience is laughing. People have got so critical of comedy in recent times, and yeah, they all think they know comedy. Stop it. Stop it. Just enjoy the laughs. Like, silly things are funny. There is nothing funnier than a fart. Seriously, in everything, there's nothing funnier than a fart. And if you think a fart is not funny, then you're a boring person. But like, a fart is easy comedy because it's always funny. But like, is it highbrow? Is it clever? No, but it's funny. You know, like, who gives a shit?
It's only funny when it's not you. I think
Well,
it's
it
funny when it's other
depends.
people, or if it's an old person.
Well,
Incontinence
but
is always funny.
but hindsight is funny as well. Like, if someone drops a bomb on you and it smells disgusting and you vomit, like, yeah, in
All
the
right, now that's
moment,
funny. That is funny. I'll give you
yeah,
that.
yeah, in the moment it's not great for you, but then it's funny, you know. So yeah.
That one is funny. So, all right, Aussie guy, we did a couple parts. This might get mashed up into multiples for all I know.
Well, I hope so. Yeah.
I appreciate you spending some extra time with not just me, but our special guest who came to join us one last time. Say goodbye to your buddy. He'd like to say goodbye to you, Dean. It was nice to catch up with you.
Hey guys, welcome back to Masturbating at the Window.
Episode 135 of Playing with Your Willy. Trying to find it again.
This week we tackle looking out for the cops to make sure they don't catch you.
Oh man, it was a great time hanging out with you today. So let's hear it. Where can we find all the great works of the Aussie guy?
Yeah, look, I don't even know anymore. I've been plugging Get My Go for months, and I don't even know why. Recently, on a episode of Malatown, I stopped plugging Get My Go because
I forget sometimes. I mean, even in my regular plugs on shows, I do forget. I forget to plug a lot of stuff a lot of times, but Get My Go always has dropped, even when we were doing it. So it's not because I forget. I don't know.
I do plug it. I'm just proud of it. But season 1 is honestly a great story arc. It is genuinely a great story, and you don't need to know anything about anything. Just watch from episode 1 and go through season 1. I think it's 50 episodes. I think it's 50, isn't it, Chad, for season 1? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, and the story, it all speaks for itself. It's a great story arc. So yeah, I will continue to plug Get My Go because, in all
We'll
honesty,
we'll be back.
it'll be back, and I'm so proud of it. And most of that responsibility goes to Mike Durbin for how he produces it. But we've all added our own little touch. Hughesy's hilarious. I'm hilarious. Chad, you're mildly amusing. Joe can
I'm
be
not there to be
interesting.
funny. I'm there to throw in like poignant commentary from a expert point of view.
Yeah, and Joe can be interesting sometimes. Uh, but no, it is great. It's a great show. I honestly am super proud of it. But I do have Malatown in the background, and that is the show that I host and I guest produce. I don't like using the word producer because it's like, all right, you edit it. Shut up, dickhead. Like, stop being so proud of yourself. But no, I host Malatown and I edit it and I post it on Spreaker. I click upload when the time comes. And look, we're going through a little bit of a phase at the moment. We're changing our format a little bit. Malatown is based out of the Mallow Militia, and we are, yeah, we've built a little bit of a show. We've got the characters that are involved in the main part of Malatown, but we have lost a little bit of focus. We are going to focus a little bit more back on the Ben Mallow show because that's where Malatown comes from, and the Mallow Militia. So yeah, we're definitely getting much more back involved with the members of Malatown. The citizens of Malatown will be appearing so much more often. But yeah, please check out Malatown. I just started a YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Malatown. Most of what's up there, well, all of what's up there right now is uninspired Ray. What is it, at mental underscore Monu on Twitter. Yeah, he's done the perfectly rated. He did the bottom right shirt, I believe. Yep. So yeah, Ray is tremendous. He's done animations for us. I didn't realize until I started the YouTube channel. I think I've got like 7 or 8 videos up on YouTube right now from Malatown where Ray did animations of stuff that we talked about on the podcast. He is great. He does some great work. There's some funny stuff. So yeah, check out youtube.com/@Malatown. Please subscribe and watch the videos over and over and over again. We all need watch hours and we need subscribers, and of course subscribe to Perfectly Rated where you're watching this right now.
Yeah, man, it's been awesome hanging out with you today. I'm really happy that you stayed the extra distance. I'm thrilled that Mike and Husey were able to come on for a little bit, and I'm glad we went the extra distance. It was perfectly rated. It was perfect.
I just like talking to you, Chad. So,
You're the man, Aussie guy. All right, we'll get out of here for today, and that's the end of this one. I don't have an outro. I don't have a catchphrase for this show. So,
I didn't plug my Twitter, so that's how we can end
Twitter,
on a catchphrase because we all know I've got a catchphrase for my Twitter. On Twitter,
that's right.
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at that Sussy guy. Just imagine that Aussie guy and put an S where the A should be. We'll catch you next time on Perfectly Rated.